tired of uninformed, unfeeling, and above all, uncaring Christians having a go at trans people. It's what Christianity always does. They can't demonstrate the reality of the deity they claim to believe in. They can't make any reasonable arguments for its existence, and they can't persuade anyone of its truth without resorting to lies, distortions, ad hominem attacks. It used to be fornicators they attacked until people started being more open about their sex lives. It used to be gay men and latterly women until reasonable people realised that other people's sex lives are none of their business. It used to be those who needed an abortion until, apart from in the States, people came to accept that wider social and economic issues take precedence. And now it's trans people. The church always needs someone to hate, to vilify, a visible but not too strong minority. But unfortunately for Christians, the world moves on. Secular morality develops and outgrows the nonsense of Christianity as the church hops desperately from target to target. And so it is with trans people. Many years ago, back when I was just a lad, there was a comic list of quotes, allegedly extracts from letters sent to the DHSS, now the DWP, in support of UK benefit claims. The short comments were amusing in those innocent days of casual discrimination when everything was a joke and nobody seemed to mind if their neighbour didn't find it funny. Except the neighbour, of course. Naively, we laughed at stereotypical straw men like unintelligent Irish, Italians with their all-white national flags and tanks with reverse gears. We talked about mothers-in-law, women drivers and gay men, and we laughed our socks off at men who dressed like women. This list of DHSS quotes contains such gems as Mrs. Jones has no clothes. The clergy have been visiting her. I have been in bed under my doctor all week and he does not seem to be doing any good. And of course, you have changed my little girl into a little boy. Will this make any difference? Now I know the answer to that last question. My not-so-little girl changed herself into a boy without a scrap of help from the DHSS, the DWP, or any government department. I'm a transparent. It's odd. It's the little things, the almost inconsequential things that give me most pause these days. Her mother and I called our daughter Megan. It's a good, solid name meaning strength, apparently. Of course, that old name's gone, along with the pronoun her. We got used to they, them, and then he, him, and then a new name altogether made official by deed poll. But it wasn't until recently that I heard the old name, the name we chose with such hope in our hearts, referred to as the dead name. Those two little words pierced like a knife. That tiny phrase symbolized the death of a dream. My family name will die with my child. There'll be no more of us. I'll never have grandchildren to spoil, and I won't be giving anyone away at a wedding, with or without a dress that looks like a meringue. But that's okay because it's not my life, it's his. It wasn't easy for me to come to this point. It took years of soul searching, of working harder than I've ever done before to examine my own thoughts and ideas, to sort out what was legitimate concern and what was unacknowledged prejudice, the legacy of my uncaring adolescence in 1970s Britain. What was legitimate concern for my child's welfare, and what was the half-remembered ridicule invited by John Inman as Mr. Humphreys, the gay man in the sitcom Are You Being Served, or the ridiculousness of Klinger, the transvestite soldier from MASH, the ridiculousness that masked the pathos of a conscripted soldier, desperately trying to find a way to be somewhere, anywhere, but who and where he was. But then, years later, I had a child, a teenager, and eventually a young man to support. And for all my inner struggles, this was never about me. I'm tempted to say that we came through this emotional journey, this existential struggle, unscathed. But that's not true. You see, there never was any struggle, at least not between us. And we both learned a lot about ourselves and each other along the way. My lad is well aware of the turmoil I went through. He always was, because I never hid it from him, from them, or even all those years ago from her. I told him my fears and also my hopes, and he told me about his. We acknowledged our shared former dreams, and we understood each other's pain at letting some of them go, and our joy at embracing new ambitions, new hopes, and new dreams. We were transparent with each other, and we still are. I'm a transparent. I've been through this particular mill and have come out stronger, more robust, more emotionally rounded, and fiercely supportive of my trans son. He's a bright guy. Like me, he has a keen sense of compassion and a deep love of justice and fair play. If you knew him, you couldn't fail to notice just how impressive this young human is. He's bound for great things, and this world is better for his presence. And none of that is in any way diminished by his decision to live in a body that matches his mind. I can say all this because I've done the work. I can support my trans son because together we've explored what it means to us as individuals and as a family. I stand up for my son and defend his rights because I understand the reality he experiences. And because I know the gentle compassion that doesn't make him a threat to anyone. And so, to the transphobes and the bigots, I say this. Until you have done the same work on yourself, until you've truly examined the implications of living life in the wrong body, and fully understand the societal pressures, relationships, and tensions that come from that, until you have even the slightest clue what life is like for my wonderful son, back off. You have no right to judge what you have never tried to understand, especially when the intolerance, the hatred, and the discrimination you inflict was born from nothing greater than the fact that you can support your religion without demonizing others. Shame on you. I'm a transparent, and my son is here to stay.